Hey, welcome. What's up? What's up? What's up? We're going to get started here, just letting everybody in. Welcome to December 1, first growth group of December. This might be some of your all's first growth group. It's going to be fun. We're so dialed in right now on what's to come here in 2023, but also it's a great time to reflect. So I'm just welcoming Cheryl, Kristen, Teresa, Tiffany. What's up? Ruben, Laura. Y'all say what's up. Let's see. How's everybody's December going? It's 1st of December. Let's go. Can you all hear me okay? Is the sound good? Just let me know how things are shaping out for y'all. And we're going to get started here in a second. Hey, Tiffany. Just a second. Oh, very cool, Kristen. Let's go. I'm just letting people in. All right. Thanks, Don, for the sound check. Oh, nice. So some of you just came off Danny's group. Very, very good. Solid. We just came off of a release today with the GrowthDay App. So that's where I've been dialed in and focused on all the things coming out in today's release. So I'll talk a little bit about that today. But just kind of wait a few more minutes to get people in. So if you want to introduce yourself in the chat, or if this is your first growth group, then please introduce yourself. And also, if you're curious about some of the topics that we'll discuss today, please feel free to write in the chat any questions you have or any things that you want me to dive into a little bit today. It's just going to be a ton of fun. We have a full hour session, 57 minutes now. And really, it's just going to be all about the reflections of 22 and literally the advancements and what's going to help set us up for success in 2023, which is, thinking about all the things we need to advance, thinking about the things we need to start, thinking about the things that we still need to maintain, both mind, body, and spirit, team, projects, family, all the fun stuff. And we'll talk about it today. So it's going to be really great. And okay, cool. Oh, Eugene, Oregon. Yeah, nice. Nashville. Cool. All right. Well, without further ado, let's just actually dive in. And first off, I just wanted to really celebrate you all and just say how excited I am that you're here, but also just wanted to appreciate that you're showing up on a Thursday. It's December 1st. And, we always have things going on December 1st here at Growth Day, whether it's like one of Brennan's live events. And yesterday we just came off of an epic session about, living your best life. And if you haven't yet checked out any of the replays, if you're a pro member, you can go check those out in the Learn section, which is, you got to this growth group from the Learn section or from the homepage. So definitely want to encourage checking that out. But real quick, my name's Drew Bridewell. I'm head of product and design here at Growth Day. And it's just been an absolute blessing to be able to work on this product and to help bring it to life and to help build it. And today, want to take a really kind of completely different approach, because today we're talking about reflections and the year end, it's coming. December is just one of those times where, you have the Christmas music playing, you're thinking about the holidays and maybe gift giving, but thinking about also like, how did you show up this year? What did you accomplish this year? What are things that you didn't accomplish and why didn't you accomplish them? There's all sorts of questions that you can ask yourself. And today I'm going to help prompt some of those questions, but also I just want to help kind of you recalibrate before you head into this new year, just with a really clean slate, really clear mindset, because you're in the GrowthDay app. We're here to kind of give you the ingredients and the pieces so that you can build your own growth system here. And I'm just going to keep letting people in. And one of the things that I often think about, because in my career, I've worked in learning and development, I've worked in performance management, and worked in performance management at Facebook, and worked in learning and development at lynda.com and LinkedIn. And now being here at Growth Day, it's just like personal development all day, every day. And, something that we often think about at any of our companies, and even if you're like a solo entrepreneur right now, and you're not necessarily, you don't have like a rubric to follow at the end of your year for your company, and you don't really know like, well, what things do I need to actually measure as far as how I move into the year? I'm going to talk a little bit about those things today. So welcome, Danielle, Kelly, you just came in. Today's about reflections of 2022, and we're talking about, the focus and advancements of 2023. So, but circling back to performance reviews, how many of you, and just if you want to just put into the chat, how many of you love performance reviews? How many of you just really don't like performance reviews? Or how many of you are in the process of going through a performance review right now? If you are, just please put it in the chat and, express a little, feelings about how you think about performance management and what you think about those things, because without a strong, clear identity, or a strong, clear identity, but also a clear, strong purpose of how are you measuring your role and your performance inside your company. A lot of companies, maybe it's not really clear with the individual contributors of what they need to do, how they want to show up. But I'm going to take you through the ones that I really focus on, and the ones that have really served me over my career. And I'm okay, yeah, and it's really actually quite challenging, to see how intense some companies are with their performance reviews. But I think as long as you know how you're measured as an individual contributor or as a leader in your company, then you won't be going into these performance reviews or these reflections in a really stressful way. But what we want to do is start asking those big questions so that we can just get prepared for them, and to also just have a really strong footing heading into the next year where we're confident, we're feeling prepared for what's next. We're thinking about our team and what they need. We're thinking about our family and what they need. We're just really looking at it in a holistic way. Awesome. So I'm just checking in the comments. Yep. All right. Well, it's pretty clear. All right. So let's kind of dive right into this. So the first thing that I want you to consider, and I put it here in the agenda, is first off, have you started reflecting yet towards the end of the year? Some of you maybe yes, maybe no, but what I want to encourage you to do over the next 2 weeks before you get into that, you got to go shopping, you got to do all these things for your family and your friends, and before you get into that mode, over the next 2 weeks, use this as an opportunity to start writing out some of the things that I'm about to go through, and I want you to really take it serious, because I think the quality of your reflections reflects the quality of your output and the quality of what's to come for you. You might be at this level where you don't do this very often. If you don't do this very often, you don't have reflections very often, then it's going to be more challenging to just know how you can get to that next level of yourself and that best level of yourself. So, but don't make it a stressful thing. Just make it a part of your process. And this is something that we do very frequently, and this is a regular process. So think about when you're going to do this. Obviously, with the goals from Danny's session, you're when this happens, then I will do this. So think about when are you going to do some self-evaluation before the end of the year. The other thing is thinking about all the areas that you can improve, right? Obviously, it makes sense, right? It's of course, I know I need to go do a reflection and think about the areas that I can improve in. But if it's not tied to the things that you're actually measured or benchmarked on, in your company or in your team or in your family life, if you're measuring things that don't really matter, then it's also kind of a waste of your time, and it's a waste of your reflection energy that you're spending going deep and thinking about it and writing it out. So just want to give that to you too, thinking about where you can improve. The other thing is after you do these reflections, and especially it might feel really heavy coming into these, and you might be disappointed, or you might be excited, you might be I got this, or it just might not be where you want to be in your performance. When that happens, I want you to remember that you still have the ability to kind of transition your energy in a way that it's going to serve you for the things that are coming, and things that you can get excited about, things that you can get you can release some of your passion for as you move into this next year. And that's a lot of the things that our team's doing right now. Is we're planning a lot of what's coming in Q1, Q2 of next year. And what does that do? That gets us excited about the things to look forward to. But before we can actually go in and step into the new things that we need to go in and get excited for, we need to take a beat to reflect. We need to take that step back and be like, looking down at yourself from a 10,000 foot view and be like, well, really, what can I do? What can I do differently? What can I do better? How am I performing right now? And I know you probably all know this, but it's just not a common practice. It's not a part of your natural rituals, because companies typically do this for you. And sometimes some companies have it dialed in, some companies don't. At my previous companies, at Facebook, at LinkedIn, at Lynda, in Microsoft, it was very natural for this to be a part of the process. But sometimes, depending on your manager and depending on how you get introduced to the idea of reflection and self-evaluation, it can be really stressful. But we don't want to create that stress. We want to create awareness. And that awareness is going to increase our confidence. It's going to increase our ability to go in and actually make a difference for how we're going to show up in the coming months, in the coming weeks, coming days. It's going to be awesome. So, all right. And then the last thing that we want to do, yes, we're going to do reflections. Yes, we're going to build the energy so we can move into these new big giant things that we want to accomplish next year. But we also want to just continually to connect to our joy, our passions, the things that really help us be our best self. And, this is also time to take some really important stock in yourself about how you're feeling, about how you feel like you can do better, about how you just really want to show up in this next year. I have this a common practice that I give, and it's really around, and Brennan has a version of this too, but it's just like really thinking about what success looks like. How do you want to show up next year? Like show up in like your interactions with other people. And then also like, how do you want to identify or, connect to your identity? And like, well, I'm a courageous and passionate and enthusiastic person. Think about what that's going to be for you next year as you go into these reflections. So let's just dive right into the first one. So I'm going to give you 4 areas of focus, and I put them down in the notes in the agenda so you can still see those. And the thing is, like, these are kind of universal areas of improvement in the workforce. Now, obviously, like every company is different and every role is different. Every discipline is a little bit different. But if you can go through these practices of just getting, comfortable writing out, and it will turn into a journal, it will turn into a really long list. But the great thing is you can do this inside the notes pillar, literally in the right sidebar of the app. You can also, right now, if you want to, go to your journal. You can go to your journal right now and start writing these, copy and paste the agenda and start, tabbing and just starting to write some of your reflections. You can also, over the next 2 weeks, commit to doing a daily life score assessment and benchmarking your 10 categories across your daily habits. And if you could do this for 2 weeks while you're doing these reflections, you can start to see, okay, how am I doing in my courage? How am I doing in my influence? How am I doing in my productivity? How am I doing in my family? How am I doing across all of these high performance habits that we have listed in here inside the life score assessments? That way you can start kind of reconnecting to you at the core, and then we're giving you that support with the life score assessments inside the tool. So the first one thing that I want you to think about is just your growth impact. Now, for growth impact, the way I've looked at this in the past is the growth impact is the quality of your opportunities to grow in your current role, but also how you've been growing in the actual impact of the things that the output of what you do. So how are you growing internally? So as far as like, are you becoming a better leader for your team? Are you growing the product? Are you growing the systems that you're working on? Are you growing the business? Are you growing, like, where's all the impact and the growth that you maybe have had in your life? And if you're not inside of like a work right now and you're an entrepreneur and you do your own thing, it might be like, well, did you capitalize on all the opportunities this year for growth? And what was some of the impact that you did? Maybe you created a whole new program, a whole new system. You launched a course. Like, what were you doing to set those things up? Now, a couple that I've had that I wrote out was like literally growth group advancements. It's really like 3 words, but the thing is, like, we launched growth groups earlier this year, and and it's slowly been evolving and getting better and better and better and better. Like just today with the release, just letting people in, it was so much faster and smoother, and we've been optimizing those things on a recurring basis. So the growth of the product and the growth of this product and staying on it, staying consistent, really trying to evolve it week over week over week over week, it's an important part. And, as far as growth impact, like the first things, like what do you accomplish? What did you accomplish? And thinking about the things and celebrating those things like in your mind, and then just writing them out and what those things were. Another quick tip of doing this, because obviously like if you didn't journal, or if you didn't write throughout the entire year, it can be really challenging to come back and sit down at your computer or sit down with a notepad and start writing out your reflections. Like, how did I grow this year? I can't remember what I did last weekend or last week. And because you have so many things going on, the way that you can work through this challenge of just having a lot of cognitive overload is that you can create a unified place where you have your set of reflections and your set of impact that you're having. So as we go through all these questions, what you can do like in the coming year is you can create like a Google Doc and just have it running all year long so it's stored in there. Or you could obviously use the journal. The challenge though is how you come back to this and how you read it. Now, journaling, I journal about all sorts of things inside of the GrowthDay app, but I have a designated Google Doc that I use for all of my the work that I'm accomplishing every single week. And then I'll copy and paste my weekly outputs inside of the journal because I still want it to be inside of the journal, inside of the GrowthDay app, because I just want that digital reference. And I would encourage you to have a consistent practice all year long where you're putting things inside of this. So when you come back to it, you spend 2 hours and you go through this entire doc or this entire journal entries for the whole year, and you start to reflect on how you were doing from season to season, from moment to moment, and you think about your ebb and flow and the things that you accomplished and the things that maybe didn't go so well, and you use that as a time to reflect. Now, if you don't spend time reflecting, right, you're missing out on opportunities to learn little insights, little learning nuggets, little things that, oh my gosh, I forgot that I did that, or oh, this was a moment that was really hard for me. This moment was so hard for me, and here's how I grew through this moment. Those little things are gonna be allowing you to just level up a little bit more. And I think those moments are really important, and I hope you have some of those moments during your reflection times. So I'm just gonna check the comments to make sure. Let's see what's going on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. To write notes / journal on a table. What do you mean on a table, Ruben? Can you clarify that? That'd be interesting. All right, I'm gonna keep going. So growth impact, right? First one, what did you impact, or what did you accomplish this year? The second one is thinking about how you've grown in your role this year. Your role as a parent, your role as a facilitator, your role as a designer, as a product maker, as an HR professional. How did you grow in this role? Maybe you had to take on a lot more responsibility this year, and it was all about how you intook more information and you were able to still stay on track. Or maybe you had more reports that you brought into your team, and you had to lead more. Like, think about all the little details of how you think you grew, and then be able to jot those things down. Like I wrote, grow team, product maturity. We increased our enterprise advancements. We built out a product and design team plus a design system. We matured our campaigns and our marketing design systems and productizations of our ads. Like it might sound like, what is Drew talking about? But this is my language. This is, you'll find your own language through this process, but you have to go through the process of wow, what were the 4 or 5 things that I did grow in this year? And how could I reframe that into a writing? It's not just about what you delivered in the year. It's about how you really grew in that moment. What were the things that were hard that you ended up learning, and these insights that you gave? or you had, and just reflecting on those and writing about them. Another thing that you have is like, what growth opportunities can you imagine for yourself moving into the next year? I think the important thing about like growth opportunities is like, even though you accomplished something that was, really difficult, or, it was a part of your role, there's always another level of that thing that you did. There's always another level of, maybe you could have communicated a little bit more to the team. Maybe you could have, shared a couple more posts about it. Maybe you could have, made a video about like something that you accomplished and shared it out with your friends or your people. Like whatever it is, there's typically another level, but it's not like you have to beat yourself up over not performing at that level that you think you could. It's just about finding opportunities of growth. And I think it's like switching that mindset into, oh, that's an opportunity, instead of this like, I failed at this, I can't believe I did that, I was so embarrassed, just didn't go really well. Like turn those problems into opportunities. This is something we do a lot in product design and product. It's like, oh, that's a problem, that's a problem, that's a problem. But how can we reframe these problems into opportunities? And when you can do that reframing process, it kind of unlocks this whole realm of positivity and positive mindset thinking. Like, where can I go next, and how could I improve the situation? Right. All right. So obviously growth impact, you can go through and write about all of these things, come up with a list. The next one is communication excellence, something that we tend to lean towards quite a bit in, when we're building tech products and services. And I think you could probably relate to this pretty much any industry. How you demonstrated excellent communication, and what does that look like? What does that look like? Communication. Well, am I clear with my requests? Am I clear with the things that I'm asking for from my team? Am I clear with how I'm communicating priorities? Or am I clear with how, when something isn't feeling right, am I communicating that to my team, or am I communicating that to my partner? Am I communicating that to my son? I think this communication is just one of these just universal important skills to develop. And thinking about how you evolve year over year on these things too, it's a beautiful thing. And even like thinking about, I communicated this year, but what could I actually do differently next year based on where the company is at? We have really expanded the company quite a bit over this year, and thinking about, how does my communication need to change or advance to serve the 2023 Growth Day, or to serve the Bridewell 3.0, which is, I literally have a sheet here, and I was like, what is, in my reflections, and I'm going through this, I was like, what is Growth Day 3.0? We're kind of like on 2.0 right now. What is 3.0? And like just reflecting about it and thinking about, how would I need to prepare to be ready for that 3.0? Or for Bridewell 2.0, because we've been traveling, we've been moving around, really dialing in and looking at the place we want to live that's aligned and congruent with our family principles and values and what we're trying to do. We traveled across the entire country. So now it's like, what's Bridewell 2.0? Well, I wrote down, it's family flow. Well, what is family flow? Well, flow is how we all interact with each other in a harmonious way. The same thing that I really strive for the team. How am I doing that with my son and my wife, and how are we maintaining a really positive skill development environment for all of us to win, all of us to succeed, all of us to create? And that reflection of just writing down a couple words is helping me project into what I want to do in 2023. So remember, these reflections that you have are the opportunities that are going to set you up for success in 2023. Because then, we can plan these things. We can build those into our systems, our rituals, our routines that we have. We can go into the plan tool and create reminders about the things that we really want to show up for. But it all starts, with the journal. It starts with a piece of paper. So I hope this is helping just getting the wheels turning about how we can reflect. And then, so communication, a really big one. Think about what you could do there to really elevate your environment. The other one that we have is just around people leadership. Now, people leadership is interesting because it's not just like how are you managing other people, but it's thinking about how you manage yourself. How you manage yourself is going to be important to reflect on, because like, oh, when, I heard this person get upset, this person got upset, and I reacted and I got super offensive, or I got super, emotional about it. How did I handle that situation? And how did I model the behavior of what I really wish I did? Or I model the behavior of what, excellent people leadership is for myself, and to model it for my team. I think these are scenarios that we'll often run into, and it's really good to be like, think about like what happened in the last year. What were all those really difficult conversations, and how did I manage it and handle it? Same with family, same with friends, same with my son Jude. And when we're going through these things, like, okay, well, how did I demonstrate leadership in this moment? What did I do? Did I prepare my crew? Or did I just wasn't there for them? And think about how you could do that, and think about the opportunities. It's another really awesome way to reflect. Moving down the list is, okay, great. So we got communication. We're thinking about like people and the leadership around people, and how we can support them, empower them, help them, support them, encourage them, get them excited, help them feel like supported. This other one is just something that I think is also so universal. And I think people leadership is too as well. And this one is around execution. Now, I use execution a lot because I'm just an output kind of guy, and I like to think about the performance of the actions that I take on a daily basis. And I think that's probably why I gravitated to GrowthDay so much, because I love the action and the energy and the productivity that's inside of this platform. Now, when I think about the excellence of how something gets done, is probably one of the most important things that I think about on a regular basis. Thinking about, well, great, you accomplished all this stuff this year, but how was the journey? How was the journey of execution? And I think we can all think about these things, like going back into like, you went on vacations with your family, you scheduled vacations with your family, you went on you went on work trips, you did all these things. Like, how was the journey? You built all these things, you wrote all these documents, like whatever it is that you accomplished this year. How was the journey of it? Was it stressful? Was it just exciting? Was it fun? Was it joyful? The execution process is dictated by, the systems that you have in place, the rituals that you have in place, the routines that you've set up for yourself, and the habits that you show up every single day to be able to execute with excellence. So I love this one, but I also know that, man, every year, I think since I've been a creator, it's always evolved. Like every year it gets a little bit better, but also my role changes, so I need to become a different type of executor. I'm still a content creator, but on top of content creation, I need to manage more of that. I need to think about, not just the things I'm executing, but how are all the other people executing the things that they need, and how can I support them? So I think as you go through and you think about like, how did I execute through X, Y, and Z, think about how you could describe that execution and the flow back to yourself, and then think about the opportunities that you could do a little bit better. Oh, maybe I need an extra meeting every week to be able to make sure I get that checkpoint with this person. Or maybe I need to get better at the skills, the tools that I need to be able to execute better. And I always train myself where I was thinking, well, I am not going to let a tool, like when it comes to execution, I'm not going to let a tool slow me down. I'm going to master every single tool that I need to use so that I can use it to its fullest potential. And then if I can use the tool to its fullest potential, then I can work on myself to get myself to my fullest potential, so that I don't have to think about how to use, Figma or all these other design tools that we have. I know in my mind how to operate and execute inside that tool, so I can make anything that I dream up or envision happen, because I know how to map it, I know how to design it, I know how to execute it, and I know how to review it and to measure it. So really little simple design tip there. So that's execution. And then this last one that we have in here is around just empathy and encouragement. Another thing that I think is really near and dear to the GrowthDay platform is like, well, how were you showing up for the people in your life that were struggling, the people in your life that needed you, people in your life that needed a little bit of boost and encouragement? Maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your partner, maybe it's your teammates, maybe it's your boss even. Everybody needs a little bit of empathy and a little bit of encouragement consistently over a long period of time. Like, we're all human. And I think it's like this opportunity to think about, well, how did I show up during those hard times this year? And what are the opportunities for me to even be even better? Like, what would be better with encouragement? And I think, the coaches talk about it a lot inside of the GrowthDay platform, which they're, encouraging, supportive. They help you reframe and build frameworks into your systems so that you can actually have a plan and a plan of attack and a plan of how you're going to actually do it. You can tweak it and do however you want to do it. And that's what's so beautiful, having so many diverse coaches coming into the platform, so you can learn different ways to approach something. But I think the opportunity still comes where, were you encouraging to other people? Were you empathetic about what they were going through? Did you take time to acknowledge what was going on so that you can really help them advance and move forward? I just love those questions as reflections. Let me come back in here. Oh, yeah, motivation. Yep. 100%. So obviously I was talking, for like 30 minutes about all these different ways to reflect. So let's actually turn the dial and really think about what we're going to do in the next 2 weeks to write out these reflections, to think about how we can do across, for me, you can obviously take stock in these sorts of questions as a benchmark for you, but think about what is your team, or was your company, or was your family values, and what are you measuring at your company? And John Dewar has this book called Measure What Matters. It's very, very technical around like the tech industry, but I think it relates to pretty much any industry where benchmarking is such an important part of reflection. Because if you're not taking stock in benchmarking where you're at, which again, Life Scores helps you with a benchmark. It's where you're at. I scored this. What can I do better? And we give you those recommendations as well in the product. So working through these different scenarios is going to be just absolutely critical for you, right? So we're going to benchmark, we're going to reflect, and but now let's get ready for these advancements in 2023. So let's just say over the next 2 weeks, you're going to go through and you're going to do some reflection time. Maybe it doesn't take you 2 weeks. Maybe it takes you a week. Take the time to do it. Take the time to reflect. Think about what things matter most to you. Write about them. What happened? What did you accomplish? What are the opportunities to move forward? What did you accomplish? What are the opportunities to move forward? Remember, a problem is it's okay to write problems. This was challenging. This was something I struggled with. But turn those struggles and turn those challenges and turn those problems into opportunities, right? If you have questions or you need support on how to do that, just DM me. Be like, this is what I don't know how to turn this problem into an opportunity. I'd be happy to help you. All right. Now, moving into advancements. There's 3 different really just absolutely epic ways in the product that you can advance and use this tool as an advancement tool in your system. First one is life scores. So if you all could go to the life score section right now, just literally click on the life score in your left sidebar. You're going to open up, and if you do this, you're going to still be in the mini player, and just come over to life scores, and you have daily, weekly, and monthly life scores. Okay, now obviously there's like this whole monthly review, this weekly review, this daily review. This upcoming month, I want to encourage you to do like a daily life score every day. Every day of December, try to do a daily habit score so that you can get really in touch with how you're feeling and how you're showing up every day in December to really advance and get you ready for 2023. Now you might be like, I don't have time to do a daily habit. It will take you 30 seconds to a minute to go through these questions, and we'll just do it and get really good at it and get really good at just connecting. You'll probably even memorize some of the questions. I've done that too. And then the weekly review, right? There's only 4 weeks, right? 4 weeks in a month. You got 4 opportunities to kind of benchmark where you're at and what you're doing. And then monthly, right? We have just ask once a month, and we keep track of that for you. So in this scenario, think about like, okay, well, I got my ability to do a live score, and then you can come in and you can actually journal about it inside after you do the score and kind of go through, okay, right, I'm feeling, I have good clarity about what's going on. My energy's a little lower. Okay, why is it a little bit lower? That's a reflection, right? And then turn it into an opportunity. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to get a little bit more sleep. I'm going to eat a little bit better, and I'm going to maybe listen to something that's going to like get me excited or pump me up for the things that I need to do moving forward, right? So little like quick little course corrections. If you stay in touch with who you are in December and what's going on here, it will allow you to really be aware of what's to come and what things you can look forward to, because you'll have the things that you've identified and you can have thoughts about how you can move forward. So what are some opportunities for you to move forward? Then what we can do is go into the plan. So head over into the plan now. So if you click the plan tool, and if you have, let me just triple check. So head over into the plan tool. Head over there. Okay. Is everybody at the plan tool? Yes? Hopefully you're at the plan tool. Now when you're at the plan tool, what I want you to do is I want you to create a new plan, and I want you to name it 2023. And we're going to set the due date to December 31st. Here, I'm going to, so please do this if you can. So follow along. All right, and I'll share my screen just really quickly so people can follow along. So we're in 2023. Is everybody there? All right, cool. So 2023, the first thing, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna write out some notes for you of things that you can do to help prepare you for this major advancement. So like, I know all you know how to plan. I know you know this growth group is just to really help you know identify the reflection opportunities, which we just went through, and then we're gonna shift in to how to advance this moving forward. So obviously, we got 12 months in a year, right? 12 months. We got 4 weeks in each month. We got 7 days in each week. Let's go. Like, there's so much opportunity. I just want to like reignite the opportunity that you have to be able to just crush it this year. You have so much unlimited potential, so much opportunity. You know, yes, the world is going through a lot of changes, a lot of adversity, a lot of things are happening with the recession. A lot of things are happening in the tech industry. But what you can maintain is your mindset. You can maintain your ability. You can maintain the opportunities that are in front of you, and you can work at it. You don't have to worry about all the other noise outside you. So what I want to encourage you to do is think about 2023. You know, what are the big dreams of 2023? What are, you know, from your reflections, your big opportunities of 2023? And this is like, when I coached my son and actually went through, was teaching this, and I was even teaching some of my clients, I think about, you know, if you were to go and just do like this magic wand, and you were just to go shopping for, you know, the biggest dreams of your life, the things that you want to achieve, the things that if you were 10x better in every area of your life, what would you do? What would you achieve? How would you show up? What would it feel like? What would it taste like? You know, think through these things and really boost your opportunities up like big time, right? Write out what those things are. Then, so big dreams, big opportunities, and big next steps. So, what are some big things that you can do? Well, first, I think it's imperative that you have a plan. And so I'm just going to write out, like, even though I know that 2023 we are creating a plan, but these are things that I want you to create. So by the end of the month, by the end of December, I want you to have a plan to take action. So you're gonna have a plan. What I also want you to do is I want you to build your new, like this month, I want you to dial in your new systems, rituals, routines, and habits that you want to focus on. So what does this even like mean? I mean, I think it's so critical that you're building systems, and the systems are like, okay, well, what are all the meetings that you have to have every single week? What are the the rituals inside of every single week that you need to have to celebrate your team, to celebrate your wins, to celebrate yourself, to celebrate your family, to create magical moments and adventures with your family and with your team and all those other things. Those are rituals, right? Can you celebrate? The routines, the things that you do in the morning and maybe the evening, maybe the things that you do before you do your workout, maybe the things that you do after you eat. Like, think about the routines that set you up for success, and I want you to write those things out and define them, sketch them out, draw them, think about what they are, and get really crystal clear about what those things are going to do for you. So we're going to also have those inside of our plan here. The other things that we need to do, we have a plan to take action. We need to reconnect to our schedule. So, I know that right now you're on holiday, or you might be coming on holiday soon, and things are going to change. You're going to get new projects. You're going to get new intake of information. You're going to get new things that come to you. What you need to reconnect to is your schedule. Like, does it need to change? Do you need to recalibrate it? Do you need to remove some things on there that aren't necessarily working? Your plan is going to help you with your big rocks, the big things that you want to advance forward, the things that, if you've never done a battle board, Google and research battle board with Brendan Burchard, and go check out and go figure out how to do a battle board for yourself. There's so many different variations of how to do planning, but this one is really great as far as like planning out the entire year and thinking about it and taking the time to actually do it. I literally just did mine, and I'm looking over here because I have my 12 months of like focus areas and where I want to skate to and the things that I want to accomplish this year, and it just fires me up. But I have like this this big piece of paper, which I'm going to go grab real quick and show you what it looks like so you guys can still see. But I have these big boards, like these big pieces of paper. Hopefully everybody can see this. And these are really great because they tear off. They're like big giant Post-its. They tear off. And you can actually just paint Post-its on the wall, around your studio, around your space. And I think it's important to write things out and not be all digital all the time, because you gotta put the ink to the paper. You gotta feel those things, and I think that's gonna be maybe go check out some of those things and get those going. Thanks, Ruben. Thanks, you guys, for sharing that battle board. I thought somebody would, so appreciate you doing that. But you gotta have that schedule. You gotta have that plan. You gotta have those new systems, rituals, routines, and habits to help set you up for those times. You also need to still, even though we're talking about reflection before we start into the new year, we want to start adding those reflection checkpoints every month and quarter. Right? So we're only talking, 12. So we have 12. And if you set it up from the beginning of the year and you do this, you have these like reflection checkpoints. And like I was saying before, you could start your new Google Doc, or you could start it inside the journal and you could tag it, writing it out like reflection. But if you can ask yourself these questions every single month, like, okay, how is my communication? How's my execution? How's my collaboration? How's, the things that are important to me? And yeah, communication, collaboration, execution, and growth impact are really important to me. These are things that like just kind of set everything up for success. And for me, like I have this other thing here. I have this other little card that I'll show you. And let me just come back out of here. So when I was talking about rituals, routines, I have like these little like player cards that I've designed here, and I just typically go through them like every week. And like a example of like a ritual is I have reviews, I have presentations, I have leadership plans, actions, and outcomes. I have a prompt just to ask more questions. Just ask more questions. And then I have this other line item that's called outcome connection. Because I think it's oftentimes we think about like what we're doing and maybe the project or the thing, but we don't necessarily connect to the problem that we're trying to solve or the connection to the outcome. Well, what is the desired outcome? And that's the same thing if you're thinking about what success looks like. You want to know what success looks like for 2023. You want to even have even more clarity about what success looks like for each individual thing that you're going to achieve or move forward or work towards. And if you can actually connect naturally in your mind to the things that you're doing on a weekly basis and thinking about what success looks like, you're already envisioning what actual actions you're going to need to take to make it a success. And the more you do this over and over, the thousands of projects and the things that you go through, it just becomes more natural as you go through this, go through these things. And obviously, like the high performance habits, I always have a sheet here for these, just reconnecting and remembering. Like, the research doesn't lie. These things are incredibly impactful when you can connect to each of these 6 habits and practice them. And another thing is like we still need to be able to connect to our goals across projects, passion, what's this, project passion, career, and personal. Hey. So this is because I think it's so critically important to have a holistic approach for yourself. And if you start thinking about, okay, these are all the things I need to reflect on this year. I got goals, I have projects, I have passion goals, project goals, career goals, and personal goals. Like personal goal, like I want to get super ripped this year. Probably not in this cold winter. Don't have access to like all my workout equipment, but I have enough. I have dumbbells and I have other things. So I'm still like working through the cold. Really miss California and how warm it is. My career, great. I want to do some major things in my career this upcoming year. So it's going to be go time for me. And I know what they are and I'm really clear about those things. Passion, oh my gosh, like just oozing with passion around personal development and what we're building at GrowthDay, and also what all the other things that I'm involved in to be able to support my family in 2023. Like, oh my gosh, get so smiley and giggly about it because I really connected to those things, and I want you to connect to the things that bring you the most joy, that light you up and fire you up every single day. And then we have project goals. You're gonna come through like dozens of projects this upcoming year, whether it's a moving project, whether it's a house project, whether it's a project for a new thing that you need to build. How are you going to show up through these projects? How are you going to break them down? How are you going to map them out? How are you going to share what you need from the people that are going to help you achieve those things? Right? There's so many different ways to slice this. So we're gonna really want to understand our goals. And golly, so there's kind of keeps going back through, but I think what I really want to just say, and as we come into like 11 minutes, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I think, and actually, if you need to take like a screenshot here, let me put this back on. If you need to take a screenshot of just like this example like plan that I just created real quick, go ahead and do it. And then I'm gonna switch back over into the growth group. And I want to talk with y'all. I want to bring you up on stage just to have a conversation about some of the challenges you found with reflections, and maybe if you want any suggestions or opportunities about how to use the tool to be able to like get those things back going. But you could start by making this plan, setting it to December 31st, and you have all month to work through how you're going to do all of these things to prepare you for what's to come after you do those initial reflections that are already in the agenda and the notes if you've been following along. Okay, so I'm coming back and I'm going to stop sharing. And cool. So if you would like to come up and chat about this or help with the discussion, let's do it. let's bring you up here, and I'm gonna look at the chat as well. Yeah, let's go. Thanks, Kelly. All right. Y'all. Okay, Kim's here. Cool. What's up? Oh, Kim, that's gonna be fire. Kim, do you wanna come up and talk about your how you want to do or facilitate the growth group heading into January with the battle board? Let's go. If you don't like this, totally fine. If you have questions actually about anything that I covered today or things that you want me to dive a little bit deeper into, we can do it. Even if you wanted to break down, oh my gosh. If you wanted to break down any of these things, like we could definitely do that too. Because I think obviously if we tie this back to the product, and if anybody wants to come up, you need to raise your hand. It's totally cool if you want to say something. If not, it's all good too. But the journal, the life scores, the plan, use these things to your advantage in the tool heading into this new year so that you're connected to yourself. The most important thing is connecting to yourself first, having these reflections, and then just getting fired up for all the opportunities that are there. And there are so many opportunities, especially when you start to reflect on these things. So, okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Danielle, I feel like my wife would probably say the same thing. Like, she's typically putting our kiddo first. And, I think it's natural to want to do everything you can to raise an awesome human. Like, it's such a beautiful thing. And I think that's the opportunity is how can you carve out time and budget and reconnect to your systems that are going to allow you to plan for yourself and to plan the things that are going to bring you joy beyond just, making an awesome kid. Because we all want to make awesome kids. And we all want the best for them, and we want to support them. And I think that's just a common balancing act and juggling act of, okay, cool. Well, I know that they're going to need this. I know that I'm going to need this. How can I wake up a little earlier to do the things that I need to do before I switch into, dad or mom mode? And it's just it's a constant challenge. But I think that, like I said before, turning those challenges into opportunities. The opportunity is that kid's gonna be awesome, and you're awesome, just for even caring about your kid and wanting to, to improve the quality of their life, and balancing out priorities is just a thing that we all have to get good at. We have to prioritize and say no to a lot of things so that we can say yes to the things that really matter. Boom. Yeah. So planning is great. As a quick little update too for the app, and I hopefully the quality of this recording and everything has been really great, and the app as far as you're here right now. I wanted to let you all know that we now have the ability to share a lot of things inside the app. So before, we couldn't necessarily share a lot of our achievements. I mean, you could copy and paste and share the links to things, but now if you're inside the tool, you'll see a little share icon across your life scores. Even if you go into your achievements and see your badges and see your certificates of completion that you from doing courses, you can share those with your network or your community to get them back into the product. The same thing, you can share the daily fire, even though the daily fire changes every single day because it's has a 24-hour limit on the time. Next day it's a new daily fire. You can now share that to get people back into the content if you enjoyed it and if you liked it, which is cool. And y'all, we're working really hard. You got some of the product team here today, and we're working really hard to improve your plans, improve your journal, improve your life scores, improve every area of this app. And 2023 is just going to be an absolute phenomenal year for GrowthDay. And I'm just so grateful and appreciative that y'all showed up today for the growth group, and that you all are just taking stock and inventory of how you can reflect a little bit better. Also, how you can just move the needle for yourself this year. It's going to be awesome. And we're going to be here every single week. We got Wednesday workshops, what we're calling them. And those are just going to get heated up. We got a lot of new coaches coming to the platform, switching some out so they can take breaks, but also bring some new energy in. And you can do the notes, and we're also going to be able to do those inside of the growth groups here real soon. So we get the scale in, which is going to be awesome. And you can't create sub-task right now. It's just 2 layers deep. So you can create the plan, you can create the task, you can create the subtask. We're trying to keep things not too, we're not trying to go too wild with how deep you can go on the plans, like trying to keep it pretty high level. But we'll keep learning from y'all and how you want to use it. And also, something that I'm just I'm so excited to see some of these new things we're going to be doing to the learn pillar in the product. So stay tuned for a lot of the new updates in the learn section, just to make the courses and the growth groups shine a little bit more. Y'all have been doing growth groups. See a couple of familiar faces, so thank you so much for participating and all that stuff too. I know we have like 3-4 minutes now, so I'd love to hear a couple more questions. If anybody has any questions about planning, about scheduling, about rituals, routines, habits, any of the stuff that I talked about today, and thinking about remember, if you're on 1.0 of yourself or 2.0 of yourself or 3.0 of yourself, whatever version you want to call it, you do have limitless potential. You do have unlimited opportunities. It's just about tapping into those, getting support, asking for help, and just believing in yourself. Believing, Brennan says a lot, believe in your ability to figure it out, and that's confidence, and that's courage. And how do you get more confidence? We got to do that preparation. How do you get preparation? You got to just ask questions, and you got to understand, what do I need? What success looks like? How am I going to show up for this moment? What is a win? What is a loss? What do I need to do? Asking yourself more questions, writing them down, and then starting to plan, prioritize, get things going. This is going to be how we all win this upcoming year. I'm so fired up about it. We're going to keep doing growth groups every single week. And Danny's doing a phenomenal job with his intention sessions. I know that some people attended those intention sessions. So if you haven't yet attended Danny Southwick growth group, what he's going to do is deliver the science. He is one of our lead scientists and researchers across the app. He helps also Brennan with a lot of his new ventures and books and his research around life scores and assessments. And I think the key here is that we got you covered. We got your support. We're going to help you along the way. We got 2 minutes left of this growth group. And yeah, just remember, you want you to think about your advancements. Think about your advancements coming up. I want you to think about the things that you need to maintain moving into this new year. Think about the things you need to maintain. And thinking about all the new starts that you're going to have coming into this new year so that you can fire yourself up for all the new things coming. Focus on the impact. Focus on the joy and excitement. Focus on, the priorities that you have. Focus on believing in yourself. Focus on building and maintaining your systems. Focus on your relationships, building those relationships up. Focus on building plans and schedules that support you and the things that you're trying to achieve, and just connect to that passion and focus on that. And then y'all just have a ball. We're here for you. We got your support. And yeah, that's it. We still got a minute left. And yeah, I love this stuff. Kim, thanks for showing up. Kelly, thanks for showing up. Tiffany, Teresa, Danielle, let's go. Brita and Lauren, Dawn, I saw you there too. Jacqueline, just love you all. Ruben, let's go. Thanks for sharing the battle board, Ruben. Appreciate you doing that. And y'all, if you have further questions, further things that you want to see from the GrowthDay app, make sure you use that feedback form. Make sure you message us in the team. We'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear your feedback. Share the insights that you learned in the community, and just keep the good vibes coming, y'all. This is what it's all about. Yep. All right. Bye, everybody. It's we got about 10 seconds. And yeah, remember to give that feedback. We're always going to make this product better for you. We love it. All right. Happy New Year. See ya.